Welcome to the Opposites Attack podcast, where we talk about how men and women go from opposites attract to opposites attack. I am a relationship and life coach, Christopher Doc Reed, and I am joined by my beautiful co-host who's making a lot of noise right now as she's preparing her beverage of choice for today. But this is my wonderful, beautiful wife, Dar Reed. I'm not used to saying Dar because you're dear to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Why do people make such a big deal out of me calling you dear? Like when we say dear to each other.
What? I didn't know people made a big deal out of it.
Like Melinda. Doc.
I don't know. I think they think it's cute.
My homegirl Lexi. Like it's.
Yeah, I don't call you by your name. If you ever hear me call you by your name, that's a problem. You're always dear.
What does it mean? If I'm in trouble?
Mm-hmm.
Like a child?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right with that. So, you think saying dear is kind of like old, like make us sound like old people?
No, we did it when we were 20.
I know, but it probably sounded old even
I
when
really don't care what it sounds like or what people think, quite frankly. That's just what we call each other. They don't want to hear it, they can leave.
See, that's the fire and desire right there. And so that gets
Peace
us
out.
That gets us into
I have my snacks.
I know, but it sounds like you're just on the mic.
No,
like with
so I have
rappers.
my protein. Protein's very important, and it's so good. And then I have it with
So
a
why don't you
Fig
tell
bar.
them, since you're talking about a few of your favorite things.
Oh, this is my favorite thing. This is what I eat in the mornings for breakfast, my Fig bar. I don't like sugary stuff, but this is just sweet enough, and it's good. Fig bar, they have different kinds. They have gluten-free, if you're one of those.
What brand is it? Even though we're not getting paid for this yet. But go ahead, Cheryl.
Nature's Bakery Fig bar, strawberry. I like the strawberry, the blueberry, the raspberry. They're all really good. And then Fairlife, they make some really great protein shakes. I like the vanilla. It's 42 grams of protein, so that's what I like to have most mornings. So yep.
My wife is a gym rat. For those of you who don't know what that means, she lives and loves the gym. She's done marathons, she's done CrossFit, done Zumba, she's done everything. Mm-hmm. She's a regular Mighty Mouse.
That I am.
4'11", and can you say Napoleon syndrome for women?
I do not.
You know, yeah.
I don't, but what I do know, see my sweatshirt, it says, nobody cares, train harder. I don't want to hear you're crying. Just train harder. Suck it up.
No, dear, I think you have that short people thing where you inflate your personality to be bigger.
I don't inflate my personality. This is my personality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Has nothing to do with Napoleon.
Okay.
Has everything to do with me.
So, as you can see, we are opposites in how we view the world. And what I remember hearing a lot throughout our marriage, which this month will be 28 years, by the way.
It's not 29. It is, yeah, 28.
Now, if I have forgotten.
I didn't say I forgot. I just get the years mixed up. It's been so long.
But don't you think it's like a double standard? If I forget, then. I
didn't forget. I knew it was 28, 29.
Ain't that clearly I'm on the short bus. But here's the thing that I remember people saying about us all throughout our marriage. How does this work? Mm-hmm. I remember going to like your company annual meeting things or whatever, and people would like say they felt sorry for me. Like it was such a common thing. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing at work that people feel bad for me?
Just being myself.
So why do you think people look at us and be like, how in God's name did y'all get together? Because like even, and they're going to love this story. They're going to say, I didn't say that, Chris. I love you. But it's okay. Just look straight ahead. Nobody know I'm talking to you. But then you say your sorority sisters early on was like, I mean, I'm sure he's a nice guy.
They did. They laughed at me. They're like, why are you? I mean, he's nice, but really, is that what we're doing? And I'm like, yeah, there's just something about him that I don't know what it was. I think because everything that I don't know, he was just complete opposite of what I would ever consider.
And what did you used to consider?
He had to be tall, you know,
Light-skinned?
skinned.
Yeah. Because you really went to the well. You really went straight to the auction block, Jack.
Oh my God, dude, you're stupid. Yeah, he had to be light skinned, had to wear certain, or he didn't have to be light skinned. He could be
Caramel.
in the other category, whatever that is, and
That's
you know, have a man bun. I mean, it was all that.
But couldn't look like your sweatshirt.
No, and yes, had to dress a certain type of way. I mean, just had to have a certain swag about him.
And then I show up.
And then he shows up, and he was everything that was a no.
So, just so y'all know,
Oh my
when
goodness.
we dated, I was going bald, straight up.
He had a receding hairline
in college. So
in college, not right here. It was like back here.
wait a minute.
And
wait a minute. Hold
and
on,
he
dear.
wore gazelles
Well,
that had tape around it,
Well,
and they were like, you know, like bottle caps like this.
Well, okay. So before Lasix, my prescription was a little.
It was a lot strong.
You know,
You know how like put on glasses and your eyes look like little babies. That was him.
and we're here.
And
Okay.
here we are, 28 years later.
Yeah, so there was something about that combination that just really spoke to her and said, I want that.
Well, what spoke to me was
Okay, it's a family show. And we'll probably
At that time.
we'll do an after party for all the adults. But yeah, so there were things about us that people just said from the outside looking in. There's no way that this can work. I'm sure they were taking bets like, okay, I get what, 2 years? Oh no,
because I was perceived to be aggressive, kind of like I am now. And
Napoleon.
no, it's not Napoleon.
Yeah.
I don't. Okay, we'll talk about it off camera. But what was I saying? Y'all, I'm old.
You said you were perceived to be
Oh, yeah, yeah.
aggressive, dear.
So I was perceived to be really aggressive, and Chris was perceived to be very just
Not.
And so people would always say things like, do you wear the pants in the marriage or in the relationship? And I would just laugh, because here's the thing. I don't want to wear the pants. I want to wear, at the time I used to say skirts, because that's what was popular back then. But I like to wear skirts. I like to show my legs a little bit. I don't want to wear the pants. But it's always been perceived that I did. And quite honestly, he was the man of, you know, he was the top, and people thought I was, and I was not, nor did I want to be.
So would you say I walk very quietly but carried a big stick?
Something like that.
Yeah.
You know, that's how he got me, y'all.
Yeah, so there was this behind closed doors reality that made it work for us. And so I was thinking about this, like, what would you say going into marriage? What would you say you wish you had known before that would have helped you? Like, what would you go back and tell your younger self that would, like, I know you don't know this, but if you just use this, it's really going to help you out a whole lot. Now, it may not be just one thing. It could be multiple things, but just pick one.
So going into marriage, I'd never had like this expectation, quite honestly.
I'm saying looking back on what you
I know,
now.
but looking what I know now.
Yeah. Knowing your 50-year-old self, okay, and what you've learned, we all grow, we learn something. Neither one of us are the same person we were when we got married, nor should we be. But what would you go back that would kind of help with your learning curve? I can tell you what mine was.
Yeah, why don't you tell us?
Yeah, so
you talk, dear.
This idea of I don't feel special. Yeah, I don't feel special. That was a real thorn in my side early on. Like, so I remember, I don't know how long we had been married. So first of all, let me say this. When you first meet somebody, I think that it's a setup. Meaning, no matter what you do, all the jokes are landing. You bringing great ideas out of your behind. No matter what you do, you like a crackhead. You just on this natural high, all right, in the relationship. And then at some point, the analogy I use is like the 2-liter. You shake it up, then you got the fizz at the top. But once the relationship gets into it, that goes away, and now you're dealing with the reality of who you are. So I remember one time you told me, I don't know what it was. You said, I don't feel special. I think we was living in the apartment. And I said, well, what will make you feel special? You said, I don't know, but if I have to tell you, it ain't special. When I tell you that was the most frustrating, made absolutely no sense thing to me that I could think of. Because as a man, okay, you give me a target, you give me something I can hit, I'm going to hit it all day long. You're my wife, I want to make you happy. But when you say that, it's almost like you trying to make my job harder. And it's like, why wouldn't you tell me? And I just remember I was mad. And I'm like, see, that's what I'm talking about. I did this, because see, as guys, we're going to go to resume. We're going to say, I did this and I did that. And, you still don't feel special. You just don't appreciate anything. Do you even remember that when you told me that you don't feel it? Probably because you've done it so many times. But I'm just saying, like you've told.
Don't touch me.
So, but here's what I learned through trial and error. And if you ain't married yet, you're a guy, you're newly married, hopefully this helps you. That when a woman says she doesn't feel special, she wants you to pay attention to when she mentions, I like this, and you're going through the mall and she says, I like that. And she little thing, watching TV, boom, 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 boom. She wants you to take note. And then you bring that back up. However, you got to take note. And then when she sees you, oh my God, did I tell you I like this? Because you would do that. And I'm like, no, you kind of, sort of, maybe did a little bit. And you knock it out the park every single time. Now.
Remember, it's only worth 1 point, though.
You explain the 1 point.
Oh, so no matter what you get, whether it be a car, a house, $1 million, whatever it is. In our book, in my book, it's only worth 1 point. So once you have that, you're on to the next thing. So just because you're like, oh my God, I'm never going to ask for anything else again in my life. This is the best. This is awesome. But after some time passes, it's like, okay, this is nice, but now I want that.
But if I go get you like a Catalytic or a bar of soap that you like, the little fragrance, how much is that worth?
1 point.
See, 1 point. So why?
Now I will admit, on my 49th birthday, this dude right here, I don't know what happened, but he almost earned like 2 points.
And I was a little mad
on it.
I was a little mad about that because I'm like, I should have saved this for 50.
Oh my
God, not 49. Because so now I've added stress to myself because I'm like, because you were said as you had this big Kool-Aid smile on your face, I don't know what you gonna do for 50, and I'm like.
Yeah, he hit it out the park. I was
But
like,
did I hit it out the park for 50?
Absolutely, honey. We did.
No, 50 was like,
50 was,
yeah, we got that on video. But so the 1 point thing, and so as a man, how we think is bigger, better. Okay, so if we get you the house, we get you the car, we like, that's worth more points logically, right? Not for a woman. You can get as many points for a single stem rose giving at the right time for the right occasion as you could get for whatever big thing. And here's the thing that frustrates a man. After we do something and we give you something, and we're thinking, oh, that should hold me for at least 3-4 weeks. And then we driving down the street. Next day, you're like, oh my God, look at that. Oh dear, that's so cute. Oh, I want one of those. And we like, I just yesterday broke the bank so that I could get you the surprise party, and we flew everybody in, and and you have nerve enough now to say you want something else? 1 point. Now, I will say this. Just because you say, oh dear, I want one of, does that mean that you want that thing right now? You're expecting me to stop the car and get that thing?
No.
What is it saying?
It's saying that you need to put that in the back of your mind. You better pull out your little notepad and put it on the list.
So here's what I had to learn. Now, if this ain't you, don't disregard it, dump it out. It ain't for you. But here's what I had to learn is that when my wife says something, because women admire beauty. Women see things, they're like, squirrel. You know, if they see something nice, it just captures their attention. And they mention, oh, that would be nice. Or I would like that. But see, we as men, because we want to make you happy, we're going out to put that on our agenda. We're trying to we don't even think about it. We're trying to figure out, how can I get this thing for the woman I loved? And when you mention that in lieu of the fact that I just threw you 2 surprise birthday parties, okay, that was a real thing, by the way. All right, on the same weekend. But, I mean, I'm just saying, got to pat my own back, you know.
Pat it, dear.
Yeah,
Pat it.
Yeah, it's all right. So that we just have to learn that she's just admiring, and I don't have to go do that today. All right. So, but now, as wise as I have made myself seem in our almost 28 years, tell them about the birthday when I didn't do our tradition of singing and everybody wake you up. Yeah. And this was not too long ago, by the way. It was an epic fail.
Yeah, it was. Well, okay, yeah, this was an epic fail. So one of the birthdays. So what we do on our birthdays for our family is the morning of, we all get up and we have a little cake or whatever that person might like, and we wake them up with happy birthday. So one birthday, my birthday, I'm laying in bed and I'm like,
this is probably, just to give you context, this only could have been like maybe 5 years ago.
Yeah, probably so. No one woke me up.
KK came in. That's our youngest daughter.
Yeah, I was about to say that, if you let me finish talking. Excuse me. So, Kennedy, she came in and she's like, happy birthday, Mom. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, thank you. So I'm laying in bed and I'm like, okay, so, all right, this is not normal. He rolls over. I mean, he doesn't really budge at all. So I go downstairs and like there's this box.
No, the box is next to the bed.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. The box.
It's a big box, by the way.
It's a big box next to the bed. And so I'm like, okay. But I get up, I take the box downstairs and I sit it on the kitchen counter. And I'm like devastated because no one woke me up and singing me happy birthday. That's just what we do. So he comes downstairs and he, says happy birthday. And I'm like, okay. So we're both sitting on the couch. And
by then I knew. Oh, God.
No, I'm just, and the present, I hadn't even opened the present.
Hadn't touched it.
Nope, sure didn't. And he was like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, I think I started crying.
On her birthday.
I started
I
crying.
think you was getting me back for when you left me at church on my birthday.
Whatever, dear. So he asked me what was wrong, and I said, "So, what do we do in the mornings of each other's birthdays, us and the girls?" And he was like, "We get up, we sing happy birthday." And I said,
And that's
yeah.
when it dawned on me what I knew she wasn't happy, but I didn't know what I did wrong.
I was like,
that's when I was like, oh
I said, "Yep, that's exactly what we do." I go, "What did we do this morning?" And he was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." I said, "No, it's fine.
too late.
It's fine.
It
All
was
is
so too
good."
late.
You know,
And what did you do the whole day?
I sat on the couch.
And did what?
Nothing.
No, yes, you did.
What'd I do? Cried.
Cried. She cried the whole day.
Because I was hurt. And he got me a coffee maker. So, like I told you last time, I'm a coffee snob. And so, I've progressed through the coffee makers. And at this time, it was, I don't even know what kind of coffee maker it was, but it was a nice one that I had wanted. And I didn't even care. I didn't want it. I didn't even open it, actually. And he was like, "No, come on, you're going to get dressed up. We're going to get dressed up. We're going to go out for your birthday." And I was like, I really don't want to go out for my birthday now. I just want to sit on the couch and just, do nothing.
So let me tell from my perspective. Okay, so I go out, I get her this coffee maker, and I'm thinking I'm going to put it on the side of the bed. Soon as she wakes up, she's going to look over and she's going to, and I'm going to get my 1 point. Okay? And because men oftentimes we're very tunnel driven, focused, right? I totally forget about our tradition as a family to sing happy birthday.
How do you forget that?
Because men, God has given us a birth defect. And say women don't have it because y'all think about 1,000 things all at the same time. We go in and we're just focused, right? And I'm locked in. So I'm thinking soon, whatever. And so our youngest daughter comes in and she's like, "Happy birthday, Mom." Because she's like, "Why ain't he up?" And why? And I'm over there like,
He really was.
I'm gone.
He's night-night.
And so fast forward, we get up in the whole 9 yards. So she's crying. Now, come on. You can imagine. I feel like, because you only get one shot. I mean, birthdays, anniversaries, special days, you get one shot to really, I ain't saying that they won't appreciate it, but women in birthdays is different. Men, we don't look at our birthdays the same way in general as women do. I know women celebrate the whole month.
I do.
Yeah.
Let's be clear.
That's a whole nother thing. Habit that I started, but it's
oh
okay.
my God. Yeah.
So,
well, you just did the week. I do the month.
no, you only did the month. You and Amazon only became best friends your 50th. And I'm like,
hey y'all,
bro, why don't you just stay in our guest bedroom since you coming every day?
When I tell you on my 50th birthday that month, I was.
So anyway, back to the story. Yeah. So yeah, she's crying, and I'm calling back home because then I worked at a corporate job, and she's like, and I'm saying, "Dear, I'm so sorry. And I just know nothing I'm saying is working." I'm talking to my daughters, and my daughters are like, "Dad, what were you thinking?" I'm like, I don't know. I can't think, it's like, and they looking at me like, "You suck." You know what I mean? And so here's what I said. I said, "You know what? Darn it, I'm all into visualization and faith." And I just saw us having an amazing time. She having an amazing time at the end of the day. So that's what made me come home and hit her with the Johnny Gill, put on your red dress, put your high heels on, because daggone it, can't say what I want to say because you ain't going to let me. Daggone it, you are going to enjoy your birthday whether you want to or not. And so
we did.
And I came home. I said, "Dear, I messed it up, blah, 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 but we're going to go out. I want you to feel special. I want you." And so we go out to a restaurant, and slowly but surely, she starts to come out of that thing, and she starts to feel better and starts to feel special, and, comes home, opens the coffee maker, and blah, 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 blah. But in the spirit of maturity, in lieu of being hurt, You could have tried. You could have stayed in your feelings the whole night and just rode that whole thing out. Why did you decide to let a brother off the hook and just say, you know what, bump it?
I mean, we all make mistakes. It was fine. And you were really making an effort, so I can't stay mad at you that long.
Praise the Lord.
Well, actually, I can, but at that time, I couldn't.
Yeah. Oh, you can now? Something changed?
No. Nothing's changed.
Oh, okay. I don't know. All right. So, did you think of yours yet? Like what you would tell your younger self?
So some of the things I did, like if I was to tell my younger self to really, not that I was absorbed with you. I wasn't. I that's a whole nother episode. I would actually tell my younger self to enjoy every moment, the good and the bad. And what I mean by that is being older now, all the good and the bad leads to something. And I think when we're younger, or at least when I was younger, you're trying to rush so much through life and trying to get to the next spot that you don't take the time to be in the moment. And before you know it, you look up and you're older, or before you know it, you look up and you've made the wrong decision because you didn't take the time in the moment to think it through.
Now, would you say be more in the moment with kids when they're younger? We're so busy trying to make ends meet and, make things happen that we don't sit in that moment. Are you talking about marriage or all of it?
I'm talking about all of it. I mean, even more so when you have kids. I mean, you're so busy trying to do the right thing that you look up and now they're 21.
Right, facts.
And you just, so you're just trying to make everything so perfect that you just miss out in that moment because you just let it go and just go with it. But that's a whole nother story with kids. But even just with marriage, I mean, you gotta have to enjoy every moment when you get married. Because again, a lot of people think that marriage, they get married and everything it's like, okay, we're married. We hit the goal. And then before you know it, because you've hit this goal, you've achieved what you wanted, you don't feel like you have to work anymore. When I'm sitting here thinking, what I would tell my younger self is that marriage is work. I find that a lot of people don't really grasp that concept. They think marriage is the goal, and it really isn't. Yeah. It is so far from it, because anybody can get married, but staying married is hard. And if you don't know that going in, you're in for a rude awakening, because you can see how people, they get married and they're like, man, I got to work at this. So they get divorced because they don't want to work. They want things to be easy, and things are not easy. If you want something, you work, you put the work in, you grind at it every single day for the things that you want. So that is what I would tell my younger self.
So there's and I'm glad you said that about it's work. I think it's next to parenting. I think it's the toughest job you'll ever love, but ain't nowhere in the world you can be as different as we are and not put work into it to stay together and make it work, And I want to clarify, like, we really genuinely like each other.
Yeah, we do.
We really do. Like, we laugh, like we went on our walk today. I mean, we like have gut belly laughs with each other. Now, I think we've always maintained that.
And he's always made me laugh.
Yeah.
I mean, that is like number one, always.
Yeah, that's how I got her. I could make
It made
her
me
laugh.
laugh. It was,
Yeah. Yeah.
He made
I
me
had
laugh.
a few other skills, but I mean,
He has
laughing.
a lot of other skills.
Laughing, that's definitely one of. So, I mean, the marriage is a joy for us, but you're not going to be together no 28 years like we have, and you haven't gone through something where you're going to have to really put that hard work in.
You do. And you have to make the decision that, am I going to, is it worth it? I mean, because there are days and being married, that I'm just like, I don't feel like I want to do this. This is like, like some days
Now, don't get into another episode because we're going to dedicate
I understand
a whole
that, but I'm just saying that it applies to what we're talking about
Right.
now.
Absolutely.
In that, I chose not to take the easy way out. It wasn't even an option for me, quite frankly. You work through it. You muddle through it, and some things we did because we chose to do that, and because we're married, and that's what you do. You have great times and you have really bad times. And in those bad times, that's when you find out if you are about that life. And, that's when you find out, are we here? What are we? Because it's all cute when we're dating. It's all fun when things are, ha ha ha, everything's great. But what matters and where it becomes real important is when it ain't like that.
Yeah, you have moments where you feel like you pledging. Well, I'm an alpha, she's a delta. So for those out there in the fraternity world, you understand that. But yeah, it gets very difficult at times, and you have to just make a conscious decision on. The love gets beyond the emotions at that point. It's beyond the geeky stage. It goes into commitment, and
so the other thing is that when we would have issues, and again, this is another episode, and I think what makes us different maybe is that we would deal with the issues. There are times, just talking to other married people, that they have issues and they just kind of brush over it, and the issues keep reappearing. And one thing that I love about him is that if we have an issue, we're going to deal with that issue. Period. Again, like I said, I like to run. I'll deal with it later. And he's like, no, we're going to deal with it now. So I appreciate that about him, because I believe that if we did not do that in some instances in our past, we probably might not be together. Yeah.
So let me say this, because we were talking about the birthday earlier, and I want to be fair because let me say this about women feeling. Why are you looking at me like that?
I'm just seeing where you're going.
I mean, why you act like I'm going somewhere?
Because I don't know.
Oh no, I'm just I want to be fair. So, how women want to feel? Dear, come on down. What?
No, because I'm waiting. Would you just
put your glasses on?
No. Would you keep talking? Finish what you're saying.
This is how we are. We opposite. So, all right, women want to feel special. Men want to feel appreciated.
Yes, they do.
Okay. And I have to tell you, she made me feel so appreciated. Remember when you took me fishing?
I mean, what does that have to do with anything today?
Because you made me feel appreciated. We talking about birthdays.
When I took you fishing?
Yeah,
I made you feel
Was
appreciated.
that my birthday or was that Father's Day?
That was Father's Day.
I'm sorry. I'm old.
Yeah.
So could you tell them the Father's Day story?
Why? Because you didn't feel appreciated.
No, I did.
No, you didn't. You didn't want to go fishing.
Oh, why'd you take me?
Because you said I wanted. Because I thought it would be something fun to do as a family.
Take a check. You want to share that story?
No, I don't want to talk about that right now.
Okay, so I'll tell it real quick.
No, dear.
No, just real quick. Okay, it's all right. She wants to take me fishing. For some reason, on Father's Day, the hottest day of the summer,
It was very hot.
in a metal boat. And when I tell you, now, I know my daughters had mentioned when they was growing up, Daddy, why don't you take us fishing? And I think the fact that I never did probably said something. And so, but my wife, bless her heart, she decides she wants to take me fishing to show appreciation on Father's Day. So
With our kids.
and I don't know where I'm going. We drive and I see Top Golf. I'm like, oh, we're going to Top Golf. And no, we drive past Top Golf. And then we drive up to this lake and I'm like, okay, looks like we're going fishing. Man, it's hot. Okay. And so we got to go get the metal boats, which have been sitting out in the sun, and we got to pull them down, and we got to put it in the water. And so our daughters, teenage daughters, as you can imagine, are hot. And so they're not in the best mood. And this is Father's Day. Remember, it's all about me. I'm supposed to feel special or appreciated. And so we get the boat, we put it in the water. Now, my wife, bless her heart, she now knows that my daughters are irritated. They don't want to be there. You want to share with them what you do?
I shut down is what I do.
On Father's Day.
I just shut down. I'm just like, you know what? No one appreciates this.
She's mad at the front of the boat. My daughters have a major
I'm trying
attitude.
to make it a fun. I know it was, when I say it was blazing hot. It was so hot.
It was so hot.
I'm trying to make a good, I'm just trying to make it fun. I'm just like, okay, I get it, whatever. And our daughters are just being buttheads. They are just like, ugh.
And so I'm sitting in the middle of this situation.
God.
Now I have two choices.
And so I shut down. I'm like, you know what?
She's not talking.
Hey, I'm just going to
My
sit here. I
daughter's
don't
on
even
their
care.
phone,
I
not
took my
talking.
sweatshirt off and I'm like, I'm a tan.
I'm sure you
I don't
did.
even care. I don't even care.
Because it was hot. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, either I can make a conscious decision for this to actually turn out to be a good day for me, or I could be in my feelings because these jerks are just like whatever. So I said, you know what?
He starts.
So I start rolling.
He starts rowing the boat.
First of all, to generate some breeze. Okay. And sweat is pouring. I look like
an African.
I look like I
slave.
had just escaped
oh
from a
my
plantation, and I'm trying to get up north. I'm trying to get up north, and sweat is just pouring.
It's
and
so
I play
funny.
some music because I'm like, I gotta
yeah.
break up the energy here. Okay, I play some music. I start to see shoulders moving. The sun goes back behind the cloud. I'm rolling like a slave, and we get a breeze, and it turns out to be an amazing
It
day.
did.
And it's one of the stories that we actually
that's
share
so funny.
that we laugh every time we share the story. So I will say this: listen, life is going to give you a whole lot of lemons. It's just going to drop it off at your front door. Now you can decide to just pucker. Or you can get you some sugar, and you can straight up make some lemonade. And,
that was so funny.
And I will say that we have had opportunities.
Oh my God, dear, that was so funny. Oh,
In retrospect, it was
hilarious.
definitely hilarious. But in the moment, it could have gone a couple of different ways. So that's it for this episode of Opposites Attack. I'm your boy, Christopher Doc Reed. And so that's your cue when I point. So we ain't been doing this long enough for you to know.
I'm
you
like,
know, yeah.
They know who we are. Why do we have to say our names again?
because that's what you do on TV, dear.
We're
It's
not
like
on TV.
You got things that you do.
Y'all,
I
come on now. That's just too much.
See, this is why we are opposites and we attack.
I need to go to the grocery store.
All right, y'all. Peace.